talngim oh you narawrawar kalbalula lembalti kare
malungit tutaw Chinese dirigal malungit tutaw mara arugol adal kuk nasbir ilabangir al tutar tal special episode ragidra Berius ice ma al tutaw gadama dimir al silsel dimo مصادر سل الملال إسل ديال البارك بارت تريد التايم النيا وانا ريسيرش فيسل نوا الغربية التايم ضلغينك مون أوكيانوس النيا هذا اللوبنجد التوتا مدام هذه ممسا ذايل القرة الأوريور مع collaboration السيد الممرول التايم الغايتين تيال ديال they will do a brief introduction. So we'll start by introducing our guest here this morning, Ms. Kasey Cantwell. She'll introduce herself first, and then we'll let the JRS introduce themselves. So we'll do a brief introduction.
Ali, I'm Kasey Cantwell with NOAA's Office of Ocean Exploration and Research, and I'm the operations chief, and I'm just sailing in from Hawaii just recently on NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer. Thank you for having us today.
Thank you, Kasey, and good morning. And then we'll hand it over to the JRA's mentor.
Ali, malungil tutaw nga kang Maikani Andress, nga researcher at Pickering, at lead mentor at JRA's. Tira junior regional advisors.
Ali umil tutaw ngawang klega Shan Anjelo Maluchluw ak ngara school ra St. Joseph's University ra Philadelphia, Pennsylvania ak major international relations ma Chinese.
Ali tutaw klega Alik Ulechong. Right now I am part of the GRA program, but I'm also working at PCC as a computer technician, also a graduate from the PCC IT program.
Malungil tutal maru listeners nga kila McQuinnley Mesengei nga kadiriwan at chair the program summer. Senior University of Hawaii at Hilo Musubra Brain Biology.
Hi, good morning everyone. My name is Whittney. I'm also a JRA this summer. I graduated in 2021 with a bachelor's degree in environmental science and happy to be here this summer working at Pickering.
Malungit to taroy. Si ono nga kasinge nga kadiri kalwan ra JRA nga la skura Rochester Institute of Technology. El first year nga kalmara master nga environmental science. So this is the JRA group, palabangit alatuta with Ms. Kasey Cantwell from NOAA. She's the operations chief of expedition.
Titles, it's fine.
Yeah.
They're not that important.
Official title niya operations chief of expedition and exploration division at NOAA Ocean Exploration. So el altuta de mo interview the plan and role, and I will talk a little bit about the role at JRA during the expedition, during the first leg of the expedition. So the first question will be for Kasey. So NOAA has been a key partner in much of the work that has been done in the PNMS, the Palau National Marine Sanctuary. Can you please tell us a bit about this collaboration?
Sure. So my office in particular started working with PICRIC and PNMS about 2 years ago or so. And we were basically asked to come and do some deep water exploration and mapping in this area. It's an area of the world in general, this part of the Pacific Islands region, that is not very well mapped, not very well studied in the deep waters. There's tons and tons to learn globally about the deep sea, but in particular, the Pacific Islands has very, very little high resolution mapping that's been done in the deep water, and very little ROV exploration, remotely operated vehicle exploration, where we've seen the seafloor with our human eyes. Globally, we're at about a quarter of the world's oceans have been mapped to date, and we've only seen with human eyes about 0.001% of the ocean. So it's very important to make sure that we are learning more and looking more at these areas, and particularly ones that are special and ones that have been have management implications. So that's kind of where our interests with Pickrick overlap, is that there's this incredible resource here just offshore. And we are privileged to be able to partner with Pickrick and a number of other organizations here in Palau to do these expeditions, to gain new data in those areas, and hopefully uncover some really exciting things.
Awesome. So, kal Kasey, kulganin was ngaray galora riol البضرو للو بنتري ايgal al maobis ngar pelaw al kukaltaw ta togora rele la Palon National Marine Sanctuary mangmlao ay salwaseng aldo ako raw lumura 2 years ako mang al silse ul mang tangartyang ay gigidal kora aldo matogora rio ramdos al makatmok la makadama ospe aygal batokal bakpading la dongu mamsil الوال بضو لوي إذا الأكل لا برتقل لا بلور بيلاو مong مصب إذا الرو إيرا ماب الوايجا الماب أملو قلقوت مالديرق الدوس بي ألو ميسا غورا و bekpading la features sa ng la dabe mga lingig the modesting sea mounts ma bekpading la a features sa edel mitiga dos pe igagid el dongul malu era ng la dabe wado ko na maringiak mal understanding nga gid was saying mal nga na teletele la dabelbela mal nga na sa lukot tol ko na wal mall al point ra al sala ay easy give. So a part of this unique partnership is the JRA program, which seems to be a really important way of developing students and young scientists. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, so sera lomu aletial togora okeanos el merbelawe mama para si floor nesomam el involve our students specifically rangal belaw. It was a good opportunity ngoy titira rangal belaw el May, and then also sa akartir el murula deep sea research. Ang klolo rele da maom subeda adim subra karigel remel eda to subra ikrela maigel egel ngi ako maltmol al dagal sa edel al more richening on a daily basis. So tirangan me one ramalungil opportunity ngoy titirang legal pelawal tirangara school al may also sa akartirel mong makaradoro lay kagidel research.
Rumemso lang mereng malungil answer. Hindi na mereng mention na sa deep sea research bisal both other alsil sa do deep sea research and da kadosa da ikal ko na dito wa alam ma kadamsa da ikal tial ngawale tial motmol like 300 to like 1,000 meters or 1,000.
Yes, sel do deep sea kada refer more at over 200 meters. Yeah, 99% travel below is between 4,000 ma 6,000 meters at al. Yeah, so we do kadamrula researcher al sel seguid seguid el part travel below 4,000 and mo 6,000 meters.
So sel do 3,000 meters kada mga dura nga 9,000 feet.
9,000 or 10,000.
10,000 feet. Yeah. Clorse, I'll di mo karingiya, tagi the mother nila say Palau National Marine Sanctuary.
I say.
Okay, since samaring ako namli answer say, tagi da ako na next year ko na di follow up algera la JRA program. Ilwasing ngalagel ko na what has it been like since the start of the program? Ngalagel ko na plans na makatmok tal ko prepara JRA salgera tal expedition.
So lang araw ngilge el asaralom la program egim la host abek pading la webinar lobon our experts ra deep sea research different aspects ra this deep sea research mga ringi trial ko biologists the machiologists the maritime heritage experts el mlame igi host a webinar matame also orndal megi online webinar matol sa akartral JRA sa laseng makara lorulay kagi dalurelir ang ngara tamlas move ngara bebira deep sea research mlam katmokla al selbelaw mangara dodangi dire kalpartra deep sea research pikwi gamruringi ya EDNA قضم سا collect water sample rang wal emme o filter and then o mesegel DNA gel migarel DNA ngar al sel mom dingel mong ngar al arm ngar al sel adabed مثلا لغة الستارت program يجي الأساس أقر ترغل شيء إيه لسين مغلا ضروري لغة election نمي the filter the preserve يجال sample سرقيد سيجي كده غورا بيبيرا جيب لامرو لبن ترغل شيء
Thank you, Mreng. And then for the JRAs, maybe let's start with Alik. So what has been the most striking or surprising aspect of this learning curve over the past 2 weeks? Ngara ko ra malmla o si iarngum, malubong ko ramla o si iarngum. Ay kalmla mo miracle 4 or 5 weeks ra the hotel start the JRA program.
So one of the things that really stood out for me was just how little we really know. Like when they show the map of what has been, or when they show the amount that they research and they know the detailed maps and they have gone down with the ROB, it's so small compared to how big the ocean is, especially even just around Palau, not let alone the whole Pacific. So though it's the work ahead, there's a lot more to do. So there's a lot of opportunities there. That was one of the things that like, wow, we really don't know much about what's out there. So even though it's just right outside our doorstep. So
Ayon chinakader mo daw sising maalik, di way kalulu ka casing. Less than 1% tra adro kura blu atam namin sa bertak. Less than 20% tra plada map peringi. Mo yu segi deng mal beto ka igel deduk mong deep sea corals. Ngadim na kudik mo igel maranda dari kaldu parat mo igel da ka di elasil sumoni. May kay del seamount mela sel lastel voyage sa libu. Kato namdik mong 16 seamount tableta map propelaw. Mong hopefully ko damuto sa damuto mo map pabebil. Ede ka identify mong ngari igel seamount el beto ka nutrient cycling ngil mo nga sa ede lumal afada ni mong dirgal support tel fisheries.
A little different from what they've both mentioned, but I think something striking to me was when Mreng gave a presentation about the deep sea and it being done in the PNMS, how it's kind of like in our backyard. So we kind of have more of a certain respect or kind of like a deeper feeling connection to it. So I think that's kind of like my biggest takeaway as someone who like is Palauan but lives outside of Palau. It's very special to like come and do this work here in Palau.
Having a sense of ownership.
Yeah.
Having a sense of ownership.
Sense
there we
of
go.
ownership, yeah. Sean?
Kora still answer the other JRAs. I think the most interesting part, GIS, Geographic Information System, like it's good to understand like how deep the ocean is, like essentially what you can find at your backyard and what you can do about it and how you can take action.
Thank you, Sean, ma CRAs. Yeah, I think, and there's also a lot of issues ongoing in the deep sea. Dili nga rin yato ko pollution, nga rin yato ko overfishing, magigidal ko tokol ulmang mo rin talamal, mora environment tarikif. Dili giblan mo ko cover emsa, dalwasay kada kadil, kagidal issue, kada kadil nga ilala imol balu, malubang nga ilala imol av. It's a collaborative effort. We need everyone's effort. So in order for us to really gather everyone, we need data. We need information to say that we need this kind of support. So therefore, kagida data, makada wadola ra kangay commitment that are other, manage takora oceans, protection, environment tarigid. And then one na dire kala super ngi kala geomorphology, deep sea habitat, tele la se ukwa nga tele la seamount, nga abla abe la let's say wamaran, the aigel baby ra level sa edel matigil. And dire nga ringi yarwa aigel ko maklol ko awas, starfish, sa edel matig, waarur, dire kal te al time mo obdange bela like I give deep sea habitat. mang dire ko la maring yaklam dingi do seng altang ang nga ta alala amran da malubong baby da lo mal maarm el nga al sela ay gagi da dira kal map del basyo aul mo ka sige gidal si mount table all nga ringi life ringi ling sa nga MQ nga ringi nutrient cycling because it's a little bit shallower nga ringi activity ringi may gagi da dira kal ko la miski da idea makor understanding lo setial el debel belaw ma debel ablo adro gira dira kal sal moringat mol understanding ringi aul ma debel ko la happy at me warung del part tal internship to be part of something that could be like groundbreaking, literally. It's such an honor to be part of this program, partnering with Kasey and the rest of the team that's here in Palau.
I think that's something, though, that is really important, that you've got the work that you guys are doing this summer, the work that Pickrick is doing is changing what you know about this area. The more you get to know about it, the more you're going to understand it, the more the resource managers can have information to make informed decisions.
Thank you, Kasey. I think and the next question we have is also for Kasey. So it says, is it important for young scientists like the JRAs to build a foundational understanding of diverse marine scientific topics, even those seemingly broad, like deep sea impacts and maritime heritage? How does this knowledge base prepare them for their prospective roles?
I think science as a whole is always just the study of knowledge and learning. So this is a great opportunity to get access to a new field that maybe you didn't have access to before. And that can hopefully convince all of you to stay forever and ever in the deep sea science field. And you're going to get more and more excited about it. Everything that you learn this summer, I hope you guys will take into your careers in the future, whether that's, yes, you're going to become a deep sea scientist and that is exactly what you're going to do. Or if that's not exactly your path, you're at least taking the lessons that you've learned and applying them, or maybe talking to your friends, your family, and getting them to know about the deep sea. So many people think the deep sea is cold, dark, colorless, devoid of life, like there's nothing down there. That is just not true. And there are so many incredible features, just like you have the mountains here on land, you have them down below. You have trenches, you have these big, big ocean basins. You have life that's there that is just as diverse and biologically significant as what we have on land. It's one big continuum.
Thank you, Kasey. Mang yulgering ilwas nga ulmang matlo tutelala kida like way ka mama ngayas kal ngala gagid te ala riram su bul gidala agid ko to ko ra deep sea impacts maritime heritage mangwase ay kal to ra science abato ko kakarusel bek padagen martagi nga kakarusel field science VLL time nga te alam ko so to ko ra deep sea mongora walol ko la sembuk te alam man suba baby ra te alara das bo obsub batang sa amal continue balmom bamsu bagay dito ko deep sea ending dira kal wasel so mangku gimalmol magagid ko perspective of course ra ma'am eng dira kal of course ang garingi ako pa sa to ko giblamsu mang sa amal lol ngo sir adrabli ma'am mar sa alima malkuk mom dingi agagid al BSLIs ma to ko omsubal do subul gilet tal mag albalabal waf.
I just wanted to add on to that. Akli obesel mention el mo primary role sa trigal CRA sa moradial amo helper cell si floor mapping madirekal eDNA collection. Basel blen mention ngi Kasey malbato ka feature sa Talbert taklela adobel belaw malbato ka roy sa valley sa egel basins البق بدنجا لا أرمك يعني جمدا قلبلو لك مون تدي مابل من تدي لو مسرا أو تمسر تلبر تاكلن دي دين دقل دقا فيديو دقل مسرا المنا تلوسل ملارنجيا فيديو من سأم لمسا أرم يقال الديرا رما بينغ ديرا قل سأل helper قاول understand الكمون أو تجد الرويس رابر تاكلا abato ka armaringi because ko Mr. Berius maralme and then ang aringi ay gal roof sa mavalis abato ka marandringi or bato ka ngi galeringi. Yeah.
Thank you, Mereng, for reiterating that. Letel expedition na mal di focus ra mapping nda ka bodol tang like el ROV, like el remote operated vehicles, el velos pera before. But hopefully once we get a better understanding geography ma topography ra daw maringi ako ra sa edel ko ra ma target talaga sa maybe we could have like a ROV expedition on this newly discovered seamount or whatever feature that looks interesting or strange. Oo, so kalang ko tulklo ada bed man takas ada di otangali amasile survey taragil balul kadok ngam that time bablul ade de kadongal aklalata pa maul mang dire kal mal makluto tila map
I
man
see.
sa evel identify gel ko ra tomta sala say it could be like a hotspot malubang ko ra ablila ngiral ma arm al random mabik pa nila arm mangkuk sa bedel mom nila sa ngalaman nga al seltel
The
the
Belbel.
belbelaw. And we're very fortunate to have this ship here with us because it'll contribute a lot to science that we will be planning for once we are done with the mapping, and hopefully maringat other blue kukmam dangia isel teluriol blodoruni. So the next question is for the JRAs. So laling agel baby la session del duru lalwalo ko yamereng the no cover at the ocean acidification, mapping GIS, the mundo other palaris, ma cetacean research, maritime heritage. So how do these specific tasks contribute to your learning and gaining experience in practical observation and understanding of marine process? Ngarang ko ram na hilparakal as a JRA, how have this experience helped you prepare yourself for this expedition? So that you're very excited for it. What are you kind of worried about? Like, how do you feel about going on the ship? We can start with Sean.
Sulang ra ungil singe. Ngariya patokol besel. Toko agimle masubra like over 5-6 weeks. I think the thing that was very emphasized raw safety, my protocol, my SOP, like proper instructions on how to do eDNA sampling and OA work. It's really making sure that you follow protocol and making sure that Rogoil research ma experiment is precise so that you would get the best outcome possible.
Yeah. Thanks for the question, Singe. So it was a lot of information from different fields, and just getting the initial knowledge to have just the base understanding so that we're prepared. When we go out there, it's not brand new. We've seen a little bit of it. We've heard a little bit of it. That's the way, that's what I feel that kind of prepared. The other thing that I kept hearing over and over again that's making me feel much better is they are saying that if you have any questions, please ask. They're very encouraging to like, we'll help you out, we'll answer this. So it got close support. Yeah. So I don't feel lost. I feel like if I need help, I can get help.
Yeah.
To make sure that the research is done properly and the data that we collect is something that can be used. So yeah.
So yung natokol kamal ni subina nga sila kim tidal fabric sa tora ocean pollution. Like imitot tialda pa Maluchluw sa bebil katamitira rubutan mo ra ito mumre ka lokem na kalpatira hotelet to ka dingal amoy. Sa hatak taklol da mga nang dalo ba ka dire kal even though klol da ditya dire kal kombi kita ka dire kal ay kal aslong nga rabertak kal mo affecta pek patngila armra el almaral mong. Yeah.
For me, there's been so much information that we've gained these past few weeks, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint one exactly. But I think I'll talk about one that everyone knows, which is how in love I am with the octopus at the aquarium. And the reason why I bring that up is because there's just that relationship there, and I I feel like having loved that octopus, I feel more inclined to do more work in the marine space. And it's the same thing with what we were talking about earlier about Palawan and having ownership of like the PNMS and feeling a bit pride in that. So yeah, everything we've been learning is just a constant reminder of like why we need to be doing this work, because everything is connected from top to bottom to the deep sea. And there's so much more work that we can be doing, but I think just us being here is a phenomenal start.
Thank you, Whitney. Nuwaigel, akti mo ay say blado tirakal colleagues ngak. We've learned a lot over the past 5 weeks. It's a lot to take in. We've met a lot of people virtually and in person. So the other day on our meeting with Kasey, we were like, which one is she? Because I was so confused because we met a lot of people through Zoom, Google Meet.
That was one of your first ones.
Yeah, but then I'm like, oh, she was in her bunk and like on her way here. So that's how I remembered you. So yeah, that says a lot about a lot of the meetings that we've had. And we're very fortunate to have this technology today so that we can like learn remotely, so that we're prepared and at least confident to get on the ship and help the NOAA team. Malbatokol to kaya giblam su bet to kaya da dito ko na science dili kananya to kaya te alra rayor maomsu bal igera la to ko daw do like great opportunity makaradolus ababir waseng so dal apply a grant mamsu bay kang madire kal lomes sabek padeng la dongul sa dalos pe el biota aral makaradol mol marele dalang ako klaro de dal kayang laring ilam aramin aral dongueng en adit talar yagadok mam daw de kuk takal sa el mol marior so de dire kal ko ames sige del batokal te al aldo ma ako na training laseng makarado siga low cost and effective technologies and help it to sustainably continue the work that we're doing so that the kati do mo learning yebon mere do malas malaseng makarado mo learning lol mol ma ay gigita baby ra te alal kuk no sa amalo bangela mere ngal mere ngaling ya kuk baby ra training al part ringi sige del ODL sa ngara palkul
Accessing the deep.
mga ngate alam ko sit in labang gala kan meeting ringi ay mga ado ra baby ra adam liwek ra ang atan nga Mexico ma baby ra blura Pacific nga ringi al atal ko musuba ko pek patang te alra a grant ma kukra di share ideas ma experience tigil la to ko deep sea research ma grant writing Egida baby la te al direct ko na mas etal msub direct al other ti al other noa amal bato ka te al blal start tal ko offer ma tamal ko enthusiastic al to ko sa Maria el ko all sis act le all sir mamil gilal ti al to ko tal expedition direct al mal ko tatela lawas ngalingi agmil al adu al ngalingi kimalmol mal adu after tal expedition mang unda ka dil bari tang marong dir kanya nya klol te al sa amal kukra mo or laban 3 or ang kana to ko ngisol sa evel adu ul girel sel kukpal malak tal expedition so gigita ko ka di take away nga kartel program and before we start closing our talk show and this next question is for Kasey. So we will be talking about additional opportunities with the NOAA expedition. So aside from the JRAs, the expedition also includes senior regional advisors from the Division of Maritime Security and Fish and Wildlife Protection, cetacean experts from Whaleology, National Security Coordination Office, Stanford University, Coral Reef Research Foundation, Polaris, and Pickwick. Can you talk a little bit about this part of the expedition?
Sure. So the work that NOAA Ocean Exploration does as a whole is community driven. So usually when we start planning our expeditions, we start about a year, 2 years, sometimes 3 years out, and it is focused on figuring out where we're going and what we're going to be doing when we get there. And that process usually starts with having conversations with people that are on the ground and chatting through what do you need? How can we work together on deep sea exploration? Sometimes that's people saying, we know there's something out there, but we don't know what it is. And sometimes that's very specific. Like, hey, while you have the ship here, can we do X, Y, and Z thing? Can we deploy this equipment? It just kind of depends. Every community is a little different. Every group of people that we engage with, every organization has different needs. So what we try to do is reach out to them and figure out what's the puzzle? How do you fit the puzzle together? So the folks you mentioned here are either partners that were recommended to us here in Palau, or our partners of partners in Palau, that all sort of had something to bring to the table, whether that's things they want to learn about the work that we're doing, things that they want to do while we're out at sea, like whaleology, for example. Is going to do some marine mammal observations. We've not done marine mammal observations on board before, so this is going to be really cool. We see them, but we haven't really had much science going on associated with that. So that's a new aspect that's special here. The other groups that you mentioned, like Stanford's going to be helping with the eDNA work. That's something that we're still just kind of beginning to get into eDNA as well, but we hope to learn a lot from the PICRIC process and with Stanford, and that's going to be a learning experience for our team too. It's always a two-way knowledge exchange. And then the other folks like at the Coral Reef Research Foundation have a long-term bathymetric studies that have been going on here for a long, long time. And we have a deeper water system that's on board than what they have here in Palau, but hopefully the data sets can get married together, and they've made some recommendations of, hey, you should map in this area. There's data needed here too. So it's just been a very nice collaboration between all these different organizations. And the role of the senior regional advisors as a whole is really to help us make sure the work we're doing is focused on what's needed here in Palau. And make sure that the work that we're doing will have longevity and legacy beyond the time that we're here. We're only in a place for a short period of time, but that doesn't mean that the data we collect and the work that we do is only for a short period.
Thank you, Kasey. Makmlo agaring was saying, ngaringi tigel kukto mo was at the senior regional advisors, el partital expedition, mang tigigil ada طور طريقة الغروس الأوبيس مع الأوبن الأعضاء البارتنرز اللوبنجيد من سبق المغتموق لوريور لسل ما الغرا أمين الغرا ولا وليد تيران غاسين تواسين community driven مغرا لورو لغا لوريلز المرو لغا كده الدايرة ما مابس البيس ترايجل جذر أذر بلا وأسبوع إن ذا قدي المد مرولا فريلي لسه إذا جذ ما جذا سومام دين سوري ما ذا أذو جذر أذر بلا لسه غرايجل ما ذا أسبوع من غريني تيجي جذ الغروس الأذر لهم تيجي جذ الغروس الأذ التلا جذ الأبيس تيل الموبارت تيل لهم سوب من وجي جذ بلق منشون غريني أذر Division of Maritime Security Fish and Wildlife غريني تيجي جذ cetacean experts المؤبنتر أدرى سنتر أمسا جيد الطورة ستيشان الطورة أمسا ذا ويل ما ذا مول ما بيبي لما عمل سلسة أدرى المتيرة ديب أوشن إذا غنغريني أدرى National Security Coordination Office إذا غا partner لبنتي أدرى Stanford University تلقي جيدا ولغا سيري جيدا الديفلوبرز الغوق تلنقتني لوريور الطورة eDNA أقول مؤبن جيدا نغرتال ديال ما ذريغ الأذرع Coral Reef Research Foundation تيجي ذريغ الترى الأذى الغربي لا والغريغ capabilities ترتيل الماب لولا با ترتيل ذين ang ترتيل هذا السال مقلول وايتيال ديال الغريغ من غايد الواسين hopefully ينسب إذا المطمع لوريور إغامبر نادير كيد المؤثر ما ذريغ الغريغ أقوق أجيد الأدفايسر تيل الواسين maybe we should look into أجيد part traveler bela el suada el mo omes en diga katal does. And of course at nga niya adra Polaris office mar adra PICRIC el partital expedition. So tiga gid el adra gora walulurior el gora omya bagid el gora rungulen malubang suada bodorul el momsub masal balmrekta lomsub ang madha gid el dairama analet sel bladanga el magtiqat el time if sa edelos pe el mora kur babal sa pe
And just to add on, تريجي الأذرع قال غروس الألعاب أمو بارترسل third expedition الأتي الأوكيانوس عن ارتيان المو أكتوبر التلغت الإكسبedition هذه لنغرني ترغل HIRA سما staff rapikrir engarngi sel ongerung el tugukti focus ra mapping masigi del ongede el tragagi del adra CRRF mapikrir ma Stanford ma Willia leche ma partnering e bail gel loya singe ang kadangoy titre adra gal gagaros el adal mailing so adal build a capacity gidel الموضوع الديجي ذا المرولة يقالوا ريور مثل رالتي الدالين سبقى الغنتينيو يقالوا ريور التيرا مرولا من يذري قلغن تريبيوت المرا كلاو مدنيري جيذا الجيري لاذا بيذا ang apartra relira tadagal dil mail qukul dil focus ra igel objective sertir tabay focus ra objective serigi maigel gida ospe as a nation in terms ra ocean research.
Thank you, Mereng. JRA sa part na first expedition and we will be boarding Oceanos. Kada mo nga gimo mas adyal ra July 21 mo August 11 na. It's about 3 weeks the year so maring igi the mention na Mereng the mamula to DNA and then of course agi mo help partira to ka mapping mang tumo sa akra ka mamala se magana the map and what are some of the technologies that we can use for mapping. I guess the next question, I think this is mainly for Liz. So this is for like planning the whole expedition. Oh, sorry, Kasey. For Kasey. So what are the most critical aspects of planning an expedition like this, especially when it involves international collaboration and focuses on exploring lesser known areas?
I'd say the first part about the whole aspect there is meeting with the local community and making sure that what we're going to do is a good fit for what their needs are and trying to be relevant to that community. For us, like I said, that process kind of starts a couple years in advance and sometimes runs right up until we're getting underway. It's constantly a changing environment when you're going out to sea, things are going to change. Mm-hmm. It is constantly going to change. You have to be adaptable and flexible, but having a good relationships, good partners that you can rely on and that you can have a good understanding of what their needs are, allow you to adapt and be like, okay, so we can't go here because that's going to be a hurricane, but maybe we can go over here instead and still get similar type of data that's going to be useful. So I think that's usually where we start. And then making sure when we're doing international collaboration that the country that we're working in has just as much of a vested interest in the work as we do. It is about collaboration and working together more than anything and being true partners. We've certainly found that here with all the different organizations we've been working with in Palau, particularly Pickrick. But I think that's the big part of it, is making sure that there's the blessing from the community to be in this area and that the work we're going to do is going to be valuable to them.
Thank you, Kasey. Makaramlo again yung laseng ko na mga tele laurier Salvador Levantir kakarusel av, especially Salvador Levantir international countries. So kukayal balul kurang like kalablo ramrigel ma bekpadeng labalue mangwaseng mal. It's unique. Ding sige del loloring ilwaseng mal importante sa the build the partnership, my relationship with the other community, ling swad el mula rele del base raigel needs my yellow spare other abalu. Engi ang mobiota rior yung mil maral ling mimokla al the azul ngaringi mang sabi el rukuya yel gora rele marungule del sel do mokla rior. And just to mention, I think we are the first like international interns. Yeah.
So the normally we have a program called the Explorers in Training Program, which is essentially what you guys are going to do, a little bit of a version of that, which is where we take young students and teach them hydrography, so ocean mapping, and kind of get them from data acquisition to data processing to what happens next with the data. But we had this really unique opportunity this summer to work with Pickrick to essentially build out from we'd normally just take explorers in training for mapping out on like one expedition. With Pickrick, we were able to do this whole summer, which is a really unique opportunity that you guys got to learn a lot more about all this before coming out. Usually the mapping EITs are only a couple weeks and it's a wonderful experience, but this is was a really unique collaboration and it's been really, really beneficial from our team's side. And we're very grateful.
Thank you, Kasey. So, ulak mo mention Marcel ang ay kal program sige del program Martel mention del ngi upload mo ra givel ko ra internship material ra internship ra noa upload ko ra open mo ra ngal ra blue American gil all ko ra US citizen being very fortunate no sa absent teri gil collaborate laban trir ulma internship gid alsil sama di ngal ko pela roy intern siya last summer. So we're very grateful for that. Dili kalmal lungil te alal sa adal kuk musu barang legal bella gina like I gave and hopefully I'll continue get the program in the near future. And so we're kind of closing on our talk show this morning. So if anybody wants to share like any challenges or opportunities that you want to share with us this morning, you guys can go ahead and say something before we close off today.
More plans and science research.
Yes. Alik, do you want to say something?
I just want to kind of, I mean, we were all very fortunate to have this opportunity, but to let all the students out there know, and non-students, people also working, we were very fortunate here in Palau to have partners from not only the U.S. and like organizations like NOAA, but also other international countries that are willing to come and help us out. There are opportunities out there, so please, when you hear about them, share it, and then don't be afraid to apply. You know, one thing that I keep hearing again from all our webinars is like just kind of go for it. Like if you have an interest, you know, like you just have to, just be a little bit just gotta just go for it. Yeah. And if you don't get accepted the first time, don't let that stop you. You have to keep trying and trying again. Especially if it's something that you're really passionate about or you really want to learn more and are interested in it. Yeah, just keep at it. We are very lucky here in Palau to have these opportunities. So please take advantage. Okay.
Thank you, Alik. Sean?
Same as Alik, I want to say akmarang sulirar Adra Pickrick, Manoa, and Kasey for giving us this opportunity. Osisiu, like, don't be afraid to apply. Mesatil internship ra Facebook and I applied, so always check Facebook, Instagram, newspaper. Don't be scared if you think that you don't have the capacity or experience. Might as well learn,
Yeah, and then Sean has a very different major. From like between the four of us. So
yeah.
Dili kal malungi la point ra siya because ngaling ako pa bilatokol sa ELSU will contribute to Marcel ko.
Yeah.
Course niyam super. What was your major again?
International relations, Chinese. But I want to tie in with like either environmental policy, law, international law, something like that.
Well, thank you, Sean.
I just want to say thank you on behalf of all the JRAs, especially for this collaboration with NOAA, because Palau on its own, we don't have the resources to do these kinds of deep sea research. It brings me back to like 2 years ago when we had to do like a deep sea research on berths, but we were on a liveaboard. It was like a 40-meter liveaboard, and it wasn't fun, like during rough seas. But now knowing that we're going to be on like an actual research vessel from NOAA capable of doing all this research, I feel kind of relieved and excited to go on this trip. So thank you.
Thank you lang MQ. It's such a good opportunity for especially nga kay Belaw wal nga kay Belaw ma nga alsel Belaw wal kanya te alil mayam so wal gina like I get takoy. And to be a part of something that could be monumental rakuk to ko ra science sa alsel Belaw cause and we want to help the community maadrabul mam dengay kangaling ngaling other science and ding da salman mobto kal other Belaw ngaling mangugil sal boto dengay mangmaringi sal dotula sense of ownership give ngaling ngarar mo dula set yak lok the other Belaw ulmang maltme warang udal nganya ta'alid al PNMS. I'm very excited. I've been talking about Palau National Marine Sanctuary so I'm very excited to be within that 200 nautical miles PNMS. Oh my gosh. So I'm very excited to be in PNMS. And finally, the Motmur Alcel, and we'll be looking at some very cool stuff. So for me, that's very important. And I'm very excited for that. But also just want to reiterate something before we close off. I think this work and all the other work that has been done before are very important process to the marine spatial planning process that we are trying to look at. MEF, MSP, Marine Spatial Planning. And with this information, we'll be able to know more. Effective management decisions. And how we manage our resources, activities within our exclusive economic zone. So I think it is very important that ongoing and some of the stuff that has happened before all contribute to our process MSP so that we can manage effectively manage the PNMS del the Belbelao as a whole. So and did you want to say something before we close off this morning?
I think the biggest thing for me is Sulong, and thank you all so much. It has been an absolute pleasure working for you all. have only been sort of in it a little bit, but working with the entire Pickrick team over the last year, so has been an absolute I can speak, I promise. A phenomenal collaboration. And it's so wonderful to see you guys so excited and happy and excited to come to see, and that this is going to get to be sort of like your first exposure to this. I can't say enough thank you for taking on this. This was not a planned part of your life a year ago. It really has been so wonderful to work with you and your entire team. And certainly getting to know you guys a little bit better has been great. And I'm so jealous I'm not going on this next expedition. I need to go home and sleep. But otherwise, I think you guys are going to have a fantastic time.
Oh.
And then on behalf of Pickrick, we would like to thank NOAA and the Ocean Exploration Team for this wonderful opportunity that we get to have to build on our capacity and our knowledge of our deep sea. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. And so dinigagida ako na mlaswadal share al tutaw, and hopefully we're kind of praying that we have another show before Silvan Mira Selgim return na dial and ngate al, and then we can come in and then hopefully share experiences sa mom, like what was life on board, because we're going to be out for 3 weeks. So we'll already share, and then maybe some of the cool technologies that we'll be seeing in Masuba. So hopefully we'll have another show after we return from the first leg of the expedition. Before we close off, we have some new exciting announcement from the Palau Aquarium. New merch alert. We have 3 styles of hats that are available. Ngaring bucket hat, ma baseball caps, magal lulko wal ngaring neck flaps ring igel o marta ikla ring seals. De nga besel tet digi multob der eli, mga nga besel rush car, de gel mga la email bay, lungil bay o mga thup, ma omenged, ma akora malito or wear. I get rush, it was a rush card ultraviolet protection that provides maximum sun protection. So we have new Palau Aquarium merch at the Palau Aquarium. So amiwem stop para Palau Aquarium, meruk mamasangi gale para Clockliw. Yung halingin gagi baby bugitang alangal alsal aquarium, so hindi kasi nung itatangal gin meme sa bugi. So that's it from us today. Makukal ba rin yang rang madimi mo kal stop para center at thank you.
Lembalti Karim El Malat Karang Aramata Arangalage Balwa Magabe Klagarange Magarange Magale